Alright, hello everyone. Today I want to show you how you can create a REST API in Node.js and TypeScript. I think this tutorial will take under an hour, and I also will show you how you can deploy it. Yes, so let's get started. So first of all, we have to initialize our npm project. Then we need nodemon. It's for hot reloading. We need Prisma as our ORM, TS nodes and TypeScript, as well as types for express and types for node. Alright, now let's install our normal dependencies. We need add prisma/client. We need .env. We need express, and that's it. Now let's initialize a tsconfig npx tsc-init, and let's check for the outdir. That's where the bundled code will be located. Let's call it dist. And now let's create a dev script, and we need a build script for bundling it later. Build script is just tsc, and if we create a source directory with an index.ts and retype console.log hello, and we run npm run build, it should create a dist folder with the bundled JavaScript. Okay, so this is working. Now let's just get the dev command working as well. For this we need nodemon, so just copy this code from a repository so you don't have to type it. And basically that's just listening for file changes, and if they change within the source directory, it will restart. So okay, let's get started. Let's create a git ignore file and exclude the node modules folder, and it's a .env file. And let's import express, and let's initialize it with a simple hello world just to see if it's working or not. Let's also deport and start the server. Now let's type npm run dev, see if it's working. Looks great. So if we now go to our Thunder client, that's just an HTTP client you can use, because we're just developing a backend and not a front-end UI. So we can just type localhost 8080, and we should receive connection was refused by server because it's port 3000, like so. Now there are some other steps we have to configure in order to be able to work with JSON data. So app.use express.json is the one we need for sure. So let's say we have a dummy post route. Let's say we create to-dos, just to-dos. It's quite easy. Let's log the body and just return like to-do created. And now if we make a post request to /to-dos, and we send like JSON name to the dishes, you can see this is getting logged from our backend, so it can receive JSON data. So now our next step is to basically create all the CRUD endpoints. I want this endpoint to display all the to-dos and then we need a post route to create one, a patch route to update one, and a delete route to basically delete a to-do. So first of all, we have to init TypeScript. For this, we just do npx prisma init -- data source -- provider SQLite. And as you can see, there was a Prisma folder created within the SQLite provider, and now we can create a model to do, and we only need like a title. It's enough for now for demonstration purposes, and now we just type npx prisma db push, and now we can start using our Prisma client. So I will keep it all in one file because it's just a small project, and I just want to show you how you can use like Express with Prisma and create APIs. So let's import Prisma client, and let's say const Prisma equals new Prisma client, and then let's just see if we can query our database. Const all to-dos. Let's make this async, and let's JSON it back. Start our server again and see if it's working. As you can see, we get an empty array, so it could query the database. Okay, now let's create a to-do. All we have to do is to have to check if we call it title. Yeah. If there is no request.body.title, we will return a bad request and say title is required. Let's see if this is working. I will provide a name, so the title does not exist, and as you can see, title is required. If I put in a title, to do created. Okay, so now we just have to create it. Let's say await, or let's say new to do equals await prisma.todo.create. We want to create with the data title, and that's it, like so. Again, make it async, and then we can just return the new to do. And now we should be able to create it in the database. And as you can see, we're getting an ID from the database back. And if I'm using the normal get route, you can see this is our database entries. Now we're able to create some. Now to the next part, which is the easiest one, is the delete one, app.delete /todos, and we have an ID. The ID is the ID from the database we provide, so we know what to do we mean. So we say const, or again, the check if there is no ID, we say ID is required. Otherwise, we say await prisma.todo.delete, where ID is parseInt ID, because it's a number, and let's say return to do deleted successfully. So if we now make a delete request to /todos/1, we can see to do deleted successfully, and if I try to delete it again, it's getting an error because to do does not exist. So to prevent that, we can just like see, or we can wrap it in a try catch if we don't really care if it throws an error or not. So it's just like the dirty way, but the shortest one for now. And that's also fine if you have small projects, just make it work and then you can refactor it later. Okay, and now it's time for the patch part. So we want to change the title of a to-do, app.patch. Same thing. Check if there's an ID, return that an ID is required, and again, to check, let's try to update one, assume that it exists, and Yeah, as you can see, GitHub Copilot is helping us quite a lot here. Yeah, basically it's the same thing, quite easy. Let's try it out. So post one, do the dishes, patch two, do the homework, patch, as you can see, do the homework, and we can also delete it again. But now I want to query only a single to do, because if we create like another one, do the homework too, and we make a GET request to our normal route, you can see we get both, but I only want to be able to query one specific to do as well. So for that, we just do app.get to-dos, and basically it's the same. GitHub Copilot is helping us here again because it's not much new kind of logic. We basically grab the ID and return it. If it gets an error, we can assume that the error that the to-do was not found. So now we should be able to do like 3. And what happened here? Get yeah, to-dos -3. Yeah, and as you can see, we receive the single one. So now we can like create, delete, patch. So update, get a single one, and get all. So basically now we have done like a CRUD API for a simple entity. And now I will show you how you can deploy it. So first of all, include the dist folder in here as well. And create like a .env.example file. And includes this database URL. And now let's initialize the Git project, git init. And we need to deploy it, we need like 2 more commands. We need like a start command, which just runs our node dist index.js, which will be generated in this file, in this folder. And we need to post install for Prisma. Post install npx Prisma generate. Okay, that's it. Let's edit and commit it. Let's call it 1.0. Now let's go to my GitHub repository. Let's say simple to do Prisma. Let's make it public for now so you can see it. And now we just push this repository. And as you can see, that's our project. And now we can go to Railway to deploy it. Let's create a new project, deploy from GitHub repo. To do simple to do Prisma, add variables, and we include this variable in there. So raw editor, just paste it here. And now it's deploying. So this is a quick way to deploy your services. It will create a Docker image for us and it will run the Docker image. This will take a few moments until it's done. Let's see if it works. It's the first time. There we go. As you can see, our server is running. Now we can add the domain. Go to settings, and there you can find our domain. Let's wait a second until it's refreshed. And now we should be able to query our database. As you can see, this is our production database now, or our live version from it, and now we can make queries as this one against this one as well, like this to get a single to do, this to get all to dos, and to create one we can do this as well. As you can see, in a few minutes we are able to build REST APIs with Prisma and deploy them so everyone can use them. I hope you liked this small beginner tutorial. Let me know below in the comments what kind of tutorials you want next, and I wish you a nice day. Bye bye.